Welcome all. This is Leigh-Anne and welcome to my Pilates channel. I'm going to give you a beginner's mat work class, or 30 to 45 minutes of exercises. These ones can be done for beginners, or if you're just getting back into it again. It's also really great to start off and focus on the basics sometimes and just go over some slow movement to get the body moving. I'm also going to take away any head lifts. I will add in a couple, but most of the stuff will be with the head down, as I have a few clients that are looking for things that don't require any head lifting due to neck issues, osteoporosis or osteopenia in the neck and things like that. So do take care, remember to listen to your body, and if there's anything that causes any aches and pains, the best thing is to stop and give yourself a breather. What I do have are a large pillow that can be used underneath the head if you have any neck issues or postural issues, and also a smaller pillow, so just a head block. We call these head blocks or a knee block. They're great to have around. If you don't have any because of lockdown or anything like that, a great thing to have is a towel folded up. So just as the towel, can be used as high as you need it to be, and you can use 2 or 3 as well. Okay, so we're going to start today lying down. You're going to give your knees a hug in towards the chest and just start to stretch out that lower back. So I'm going to try and explain as we go, and then I'll stop and give you some more explanation as we need to. So hugging those legs in, you can rock from side to side, okay? Let that pelvis release gently onto the mat. You can also do some leg circles, so hold onto the knees and allow the pelvis to rock smoothly, nice and easy on the floor, and then reverse the circle. Just focus here on that breathing, on allowing the arms to work and the back muscles and the tummy muscles just to relax. Allow some free movement. Come back to the center. Today we're going to hold that right knee in. Take the left leg down and out along the mat. You want to gently pull this knee in towards the chest and slowly out towards the armpit. This just allowing those hips to open, pelvis to ease. Bring that knee back to the center. Left leg is going to come back in, and we'll switch over to the other side. So stretch that leg away. Pull that knee out to the side as you pull it in. And again, we'll open up the pelvis. Bring the knee back to the center, and then bring both knees in for one last gentle squeeze. Feet come down onto the mat. When we're working in Pilates, we work in our Pilates neutral setup position rather. So heavy tailbone, feet are hip distance apart, about a ruler away from the bottom, knees pointing straight up to the ceiling, collarbones nice and wide, and the arms reaching down. If you have really tight shoulders and they start to do this and your neck is here, best to pop a pillow underneath the head, and you can allow those hands to roll up if need be. Generally and ideally, we'd like those hands to be pressed down. From here, it's really bright. From here, we're going to work on activating that core. So the muscles that run around the whole body and those deep abdominals, transverse abdominis, we're going to work those along with the pelvic floor. So work something that works with you. We want to be able to maintain that natural curve in the lower back. So we're going to take a breath in. As you exhale, you think about drawing from the pubic bone up towards the belly button, or you can think about drawing your hip bones together. You're going to try and engage these deep abdominals. You're breathing in to hold, and then exhale to relax. So we go again. Inhale, exhale, draw in from the pubic bone to the belly button. Squeeze those hips together, and then just soften across the rib cage. And relax. We take one more. Notice as we exhale to engage the tummy, there's no movement in the bones of the body. There is no visible movement. And relax. We're going to add a pelvic tilt to stretch and lengthen the lower back, and again get those abdominal muscles working. So we breathe in to prepare. As you exhale, engage the tummy, draw that belly button in and up, and we're going to tilt the hips off the floor. And release back down. We go again. So we zip up from the pubic bone to belly button. We squeeze the hip bones together. Gently flatten the lower back. And then release back down. We're going to take 5 more. Exhale, deep in the tummy, tilting up. And release. And again. As you go through the next 3, start to focus on keeping the upper body nice and relaxed. We also start to think about that rib cage sliding down. And one more. And release. We're now moving on. We're going to start to engage those glutes a little bit more into our bridge. So as you're exhaling, tilt the pelvis up using the abdominals. Start to squeeze the glutes, and we're going to pick the backbones up one at a time. If you're particularly stiff, you might want to take one not so high. And then as you're exhaling, rolling down through the spine, coming down vertebra by vertebra until you're flat down onto your back. We go again. Inhale. Exhale, engage the tummy, tilting up. Glutes are going to squeeze. Start to press the pubic bone up to the ceiling. In this position, make sure your rib cage hasn't popped up. We want to keep the ribs down and this back in neutral. Then roll down, find a two-way stretch. Head, heels, and hips in that way. Or sorry, hips rather. And we're going to take 3 more, tilting up. Exhale, engage the glutes as we start to lift up. Inhale. Exhale, rolling down. We take another one. Now, if your back is very stiff, please continue to do a couple more of these. It's really good to get some mobility into the back, some stretch, some strength into the glutes and the abdominals. Right, instead of doing any curl-ups or head lifts, we're going to do some shoulder shrugs. So double arm shoulder shrug, the arms are going to reach up to the ceiling. Collarbones are going to stay nice and wide, and feel the shoulder blades, or rather the arm bones, drop into the shoulder joint. From here, we're going to inhale to reach the arms up to the ceiling. See how the shoulder blade lifts and drop back down. And again, inhaling and exhale. You're working rib to hip connection here, but also shoulder blades coming down and into the back pockets. 2 more. And release. Last one. And release. We're going to do a little bit of upper body rotation, so link your fingers and squeeze your palms together. We're going to take the arms over to the right. You use the underneath arm, your right arm, to pull the left arm over. And then you use your belly muscles to come back to the center. Over to the other side. And back to the center. So we've got 2 more either side. You don't have to be too strict on where your pelvis is, but really we want to keep it as stable as possible and get some rotation through the upper parts of the spine, as well as a stretch across the shoulder blade area. And then last one to the left. And back. Relax the arms. We're going to do some arm reaches or double arm reach backs. Here is a really good workout to connect ribs to hips and focus on this connection, making sure we're not going to arch into the upper back. So again, both arms are going to reach up to the ceiling or the sky. As you're exhaling, both arms reach back. And inhale, the arms come back up to the center. And again, exhale, reach the arms back. And inhale, center. So you keep going like that. I'm going to give you a few tips. I'm going to take this hand down to focus. As you're exhaling, you're thinking of ribs sliding down. You're going to keep that upper back connected. And then inhale, the arms come back up. If you have super flexible shoulders, you may be able to get those arms down onto the mat. But if you can, be careful you haven't let go of all of the other connections to do so. So connecting to that and bring the arms up. The other thing to think about is that the shoulders don't want to lift up to the ears. The shoulders stay into the back pockets as we do the exercise. We'll take 1 more. And back up to the ceiling. You can relax the arms down alongside you. So those are great warm-up exercises to do. You can incorporate that into any of your workouts if you need to. We're going to work on some single leg toe taps. Again, there is a more basic or an easier exercise to do, but we're going to step into alternating immediately. So hands down alongside you. Again, we're going to focus on maintaining a neutral spine and neutral pelvis, or stable. As you're exhaling, engage those tummy muscles and float one leg up to tabletop. Think about buttoning the belly button and the pubic bone down as we pick the second leg up. Making sure there's no arching, there's no tension creeping into the shoulders. As you exhale, tap your right toe down, inhale to lift. Other side, tap and lift. We aim for 10 each side. It sounds a big number, but you can build up to this, so give yourself a break at any time. Okay, this is number 4 each side. As we go, start to think a little bit more on rib to hip connection, making sure we're not letting that upper body start to lift, all right? That takes away from any concentration on those deep abdominals. So connect ribs to hips. Make sure there's no tension through the shoulders, the neck. And you're going to take 4 more. As you go for those last 4, if that's too challenging for you, remember that you have those alternating leg lifts with those feet starting down on the mats. 2 to go either side. I'll show you the last one, sorry. Last lots. And then once you're finished, you can gently just hug those knees in towards the chest. All right, relaxing down. We're going to take some single leg stretches. We're going to start with those. We're going to add the arms in and do some dead bugs afterwards. So with single leg stretches, again, you can keep with one leg at a time, but we're going to alternate these. As you're exhaling, engage the tummy, right leg up. Button the belly button and pubic bone down as you pick the second leg up. As you're exhaling, reach the right leg away. Inhale, bring it back. So start to think about stretching the leg from underneath, so that hamstring and glute, reaching and return. Reach and return. Again, we're going to aim for 10 each side. Number 4. As that leg reaches away, it's really important to find a deeper scoop on that lower tummy, like you're trying to draw that belly button in and up towards the spine. On the last 5, let's take the arms up to the ceiling. You're going to drop the arm bones into the joints. You keep the upper body nice and relaxed. This takes away from the temptation of holding onto your mat or your floor. Let's take 1 more either side. And then hugging those knees into the chest. When you hug the legs in, you can always rock from side to side or do whatever you feel your back needs to get that stretch. This is a little bit of a brain teaser. So we have dead bug, which is opposite arm and leg, but I'm going to throw in a little challenge, that little spanner, and you're going to try and get that brain working a little bit more. So arms reach up to the ceiling. We're going to lift those legs up to tabletop position. Opposite arm and leg to start with. So right leg and left arm. And return. Other side. Making sure we don't let that back or upper body start to arch. We really work on rib to hip connection and a deeper scoop of the tummy. Now we're going to go same arm and leg. Made me think. Opposite arm and leg. Same arm and leg. Opposite arm and leg. Same arm and leg. And resting. How did you do? Normally there's a few giggles and hysterics as we try and get that one going, especially early Monday morning or a late afternoon on Thursday. All right, so rocking yourselves up into a sitting position. We're going to go into our rollbacks, or half rollback. We're going to work this on a bit of mobility through that lower back and again some core activation. If this doesn't feel comfortable for you, the best thing to do is to give this one a skip until you feel stronger. You can do some stretching down onto the floor, pick up any of the stretches that we've done previous. So hands behind your thighs and sit up really tall, shoulders down the back. You're going to take an inhale. As you're exhaling, engaging those deep abdominals as you curl your bottom underneath. So taking the sit bones and sending them towards the heels. You roll back till you have straight arms and your eye line lowers ever so slightly. As you're exhaling, deeply scoop the tummy to bring the crown of the head forward and then restack from the base of the spine to the top of the head. We go again. Exhaling. Curling the tailbone underneath. Inhale, exhale, rounding forward and sitting up tall. Taking 2 more, yeah? And sitting up tall, last one. And rounding forward. So we can add a challenge. If moving up to the next challenge is too much, stick with that one. We're going to have those legs straight out in front of you and the arms reaching out to shoulder height. Sitting up tall, shoulders into the back pockets. We're going to curl the tailbone underneath, rolling yourself down halfway. Really use those abdominals to hold, deepen the tummy to bend, and continue to reach forward, and then restack that spine to sit tall. Exhale, curling back, tailbone underneath, and lifting and stretching forward. Finishing that last one. And up, and stretching forward. And there you go. Well done. We're going to do some spinal rotation. So, if you struggle sitting in a cross-legged position or in a comfy, long, froggy position, I suggest sitting on a bolster, so using your pillow, using your block, or you could even do this seated on a couch or chair. So, you want to get your shoulders directly over your hips, so feel like you're sitting up tall. We're going to take our hands today into a prayer position and press the hands, the heel of the hand, into the breastbone. You keep those hands attached to the breastbone. We inhale. As you exhale, engage as we twist around to the right. Pull that right elbow back and encourage a little bit more twist. And come back to the center. Now, ideally, we have kept the lower half of the body really still. Let's try the other side. So inhale. Exhaling, engage. Twist to the right. Left elbow twisting back. And back to the center. We go again. And center. The more we can encourage that arm to help, the more twist and rotation you can get. I am particularly stiff through that mid to upper thoracic. And center. Last one. Imagine you're wringing out those lungs. Really try and get every little bit of air out. And back to the center. Well done. Okay. So we're going to turn over onto your tummy and we're going to work into the upper back. Here, I suggest using a little pillow or a towel. It goes underneath your forehead just to give you some breathing space. And again, when we're on our tummies, always making sure that we can lift that belly button, stay supported in that tummy. This should not feel sore in the lower back. So I have some clients that are really lordotic, so an exaggerated lower curve. If you need to, you can place a towel or a pillow underneath the pelvis. So I'm going to demo that just so you have an idea. The pillow is at the top of the hips, kind of just below the hips rather, and then underneath that lower part of the tummy. So I'm also going to turn my head to the side so that you're able to hear me, and then always make sure that you start and finish the exercise. Well, during the middle of the exercise, you're always looking down. So the first part, the hands are going to reach down alongside you. So in flight, you're going to take a breath in. As you're exhaling, engage the tummy and press the pubic bone down. See our long spine, shoulder blades together and down the back, and hover the arms up off the floor. and release back down. So we go, inhale, exhale, engage, arms, and release back down. You're going to take 4 more like that for me. So 4 more. As you're exhaling, think about those shoulder blades drawing down the back so that we open those collarbones wide. You can keep your forehead down on the floor for the next 4 and release. Again, ensure as you keep going that lower back is really long and we're not just sinking into that lower spine, our hinge points. 2 to go. And then finishing that last one, we're going to add the lift of the upper body. So we're going to take a breath in. As you exhale, engage the tummy, tailbone lengthens, shoulder blades, arms, this time upper body. Feel like you've been shot out of a cannon, flying through the sky, and relax. And again. Find that length again through the top of the head and out through those heels and sit bones. Two more. Last one. And relax. You can bring your hands underneath your forehead, elbows out to the side. We're going to go into some straight leg swimming. So we rest the heads down. You're going to work those glutes. All right? Sorry, I have kids in the background screaming. So we're going to breathe in. As you're exhaling, squeeze the bottom muscle and lift that leg up. And lower back down. Other side. And lower back down. So you're going to keep going. Again, we're going to alternate and do about 6 each side. You're going to keep those hips pressed down into the mat. Deepen the tummy connection. Watch that the shoulders don't start to do any of the work. So let's pull this top down. If you find this really easy, we can start to add a little bit of challenge. So we lift the one leg up. As you inhale, we switch legs and change. And change. And change. Last one. And resting. Push back into a child's pose position. Stretching out. Lifting the tummy up off the thighs. And sitting up. Right. We're going to go into another favorite of my exercises. This is the clam. We're going to do levels 1, 2, and 3. If you have any shoulder issues, neck issues, this goes underneath the head, and you can rest your head down here. If it's comfortable, then just allow that head to reach out. We want to have the head in line with the shoulders and the hips, so we have a nice long spine. There's this lift in the side waist, and how you get it is try and lift or reach those hips away. Keep your feet together and in line with the bottom. So from here, feet together, we're going to lift the knee and lower. And we're doing 10. 6. 4 more. As we do this, let's make sure that those hips stay facing the front, that they don't twist or rock backwards. 2. And 1 more. Okay, level 2, both feet lift. When you lift, be careful not to drop those hips. So again, still keeping that hip reaching away, your feet together, we lift and lower. Keeping the ribs, side waist lifted. Four to go. If it starts to become too much, you can always lower the feet and do those feet down on the floor. And relax. Level 3, we're going to stretch the underneath leg so it's in line with the body. The top foot is on that knee. Here we might need a pillow or a small ball and just prop it underneath. The reason why is if we drop that knee too far, depending on the size of our hips roll forward. we're not in correct alignment. So I like to get a pillow or something underneath. And again, keeping that top hip reaching away, we're going to start to lift and lower. This is a balance challenge as well. So if you need to, hands on the floor. This one, especially, don't use those hips to lift the knee. Keep the ribs connected to the spine, belly button pulling back. 4 more. And 3, 2, last one. And relax. Well done. You can hug that knee in towards the chest. And we're going to switch over and do the other side. Okay, so everyone, again, remember your shoulders and necks are different on either side, so if you need the pillow on this one, do use it. Your feet are in line with the bottom. You can always use the back of the mat to set yourself up. Ribs and belly button back, that top hip reaching away so we get that gap. And we go. Lift, feet stay together. Just make sure that we don't start getting that tension into the shoulders. We want to keep thinking about this beautiful long spine we have. 3 more. Last time. Right, both feet are going to lift up off the mat, and from here we lift and lower. If it starts to become too much, remember you do as many as you can, rest, and then come back in when you need to or when you can. Last one. And relaxing down. So that third one, I'm going to get my pillow back. All right, underneath leg is straight, that foot is on that top knee. The toes do not touch the floor. That's a cheat. Right, hips are stacked. And from here, lift and lower. Okay, life in lockdown. It's very difficult to find a quiet spot. And last one. Well done. Bring that knee in towards the chest and release out. We're going to do a little glute stretch. So you have 2 choices. We have the forcet where you take the ankle. I'll show you this way around. So the ankle goes over the one knee. You have your hands through the leg and you bring that leg in. So that's the forcet. Otherwise you take that leg so there's no gaps between the knees or the thighs and hold on to one shin. Again, if none of those are easy or the hips or knees don't allow, we have hip in towards the chest and gently pull it over to the other side. Whatever you're able to manage so that we get a stretch across that hip. 30 seconds to 40 seconds if you can. Okay, and let's switch over to the other side. So whatever you did on that side, we're going to switch over to the other. I'm having a giggle. My little boy's watching me. He really wants to come out. Oh, okay, and relaxing down. We're going to go into a little bit of hip work, so glute activation and some single legs, so challenging the stability in the pelvis. So we're going to do 10 in each position. The first one, hands down. This time your feet can be slightly closer to the bottom. Just be careful that they're not too close, that your knees are over the toes, right? Some of us are that flexible. We're going to think about squeezing or engaging glutes and abs straight up to the ceiling, lower straight back down, and lift and lower. Keep going with this one. Really focus on not letting that rib cage pop up. So it's almost like it's the last thing to lift, if anything. You want to feel a nice kind of warm muscle work through the back of the body. 4 more. Last one. Now, if this next one is too difficult, you keep both feet down on the floor and do another 10 to 20. We lift that leg, right leg up into tabletop. Maybe not as high a lift, so we lift up and lower. Keeping that pelvis level with one another, and we're aiming for 10. Remember, you can always build this one up. And relaxing. Other side, so we go. Remember, your hamstring, the back of that leg might get a little extra work. Try and keep that leg close to you and really, again, engage those glutes. And one. Relaxing down. Take your hands out to the side in a V, and we'll take some hip sways. So over to the right. Using this as a nice stretch. Try and get that knee to reach down towards the mat. Then using the tummy, come back up to the center. We go over to the other side. And coming back. One more either side. And last one. Right, coming back up onto all fours. We're going to set up, we're going to do some swimming on a quadruped, and then we're going to do some Superwoman or Superman exercise. So we have hands underneath the shoulders and knees are hip distance apart. Be careful here, we don't start to round the upper back or arch into that lower back. So flat back, aim to think about balancing a tray of champagne glasses on the back. And from here, keeping stable, you're going to exhale, slide the right leg out along the mat, and then bring it back. Keeping nice and stable, left, and bring it back. And again, right, and back. As we go through a couple more either side, notice if they're shifting from side to side or twisting in those hips. Try and get it to be stable and no arching or rounding in that lower back. One more. And relax. Always rest if your wrists need it, otherwise we're going to go straight on. Right leg goes out, pelvis stays stable, we engage the glutes to lift, and we come all the way back in. Other side, reach, squeeze your bottom to lift, and lower, and back in. Take note, there's no shift from side to side, and we're going to try and maintain that lower back. And we take two more either side. And last. And down, stretch into a child's pose position. Roll up and then just give those wrists a little circle. So we're going to add some arms. We're going to try and keep or maintain that the arms and legs are below the level of the body. So not above the shoulder height and not above hip height. Finding a two-way stretch from fingertips to toes as well. So we have hands underneath the shoulders. We corset that waist. As you're exhaling, right leg, left arm, thumb towards the ceiling. And coming back in. Other side. And back in. And again, switch. And back in. You can challenge yourself here and have longer balances, so more than 2 breaths. And return. And stretch. And return. Last one. And relax. And again, push back into that child's pose position. All right. So you can do another set of those. Just challenge the balance again. Hold it for a little bit longer. We're going to finish off today with a nice arm opener. Again, some spinal rotation that we worked on. You're going to have your pillow or a bigger pillow underneath the head so that your head stays in a line with the spine. Also make sure that you have some of it behind you so that your head doesn't fall off. So we have the legs almost set up as if we're doing clam, maybe a little bit higher with those knees, arms out in front. You're going to reach forward, lift the arm up, and as you exhale, spiral the spine. Inhale, exhale back. So rotation through that midsection again. We inhale. Use the exhale and wring the lungs out. Inhale and back together. We go 3 more. Take a look at the next one and focus here. The arm goes up to the ceiling. It's the exhale, it's the twist around the rib cage that eventually gets that arm to move. Not the other way around, so not the arm first and then the ribs. The incorrect way, the arm goes, the shoulder stays here, and we get this torque and pull that isn't great for the body. So arm up to the ceiling, the spine twists, the arms follow. And back and together. So I'm going to turn around, you're going to see my back, and we're going to do 5 more on the other side. And excuse my feet. So, here we go. And exhale. Inhale up and exhale back together. Inhale. Here, it's all dependent on your own flexibility and how much that spine moves as to where that arm goes. Inhale and back together. 3 more. 3 to go. And up and back together. Turn over onto all 4s. We're going to do a nice gentle release, which can be done at the beginning of the class as well as at the end. It's a really nice release for the pelvis and kind of sets the pelvis into its correct alignment. So if anything, it's great to be done at the beginning of the class or when you wake up in the morning or at night when you're feeling a bit stiff. So we are focusing on pressing with the arms down into the ground to initiate the movement. The rest of the body is going to stay relaxed. So we're in all 4s. You're going to think about pressing your arms into the mat and pushing the floor away as you reach back. As your hips touch, we come back in. So if you're going, you start to feel, or you can feel just where some tension is and come back. You're aiming for 20 of these. Allow your hips just to release and back. Push through the arms, get the upper back working. I can already feel that both hips are touching the heels now at the same time, almost, rather than one at a time, which means that there's a little bit of tightness through my glutes, through my pelvis and my lower back. Okay, so try not to round the lower back as we go back. We're going to send those sit bones back and release. You've got about 8 more. We're going to do and 7. Again, the only kind of muscles that are working are arms and upper back. Just allow everything else to kind of relax and release. Okay, 1 more. Alright, from here we're going to tuck our toes underneath. I'm going to roll up, but if you need to, step yourself up, especially if you have low blood pressure or anything. I'm going to roll up through the spine. You can use your hands on your legs if you need to. Now I know you can't quite see my head. We're going to stand with our feet hip distance apart, and I want you to lengthen through the back of the neck up towards the ceiling of the sky. Feel like you're zipping up pubic bone to belly button and you lengthen the tailbone to the floor. Take an inhale. As you exhale, deepen that tummy activation, chin to the chest. Soften the ribs, and you're going to roll yourselves down towards the floor. Bend your knees, relax the arms on the head. Inhale, exhale, engage. Curl that tailbone underneath. Roll up through that spine. Shoulders down, eyes up, and then rise up onto the balls of the feet. Lower back down. We take one more rise. Rising up, zipping up that tummy, and release.